Last February, Netflix released yet another lovable comedy drama in the form of Ginny and Georgia, and we have to admit, it delivered. And the good news is that the series is already renewed for a second season, which they announced in April this year. To this, some fans have been theorizing on what's to happen in the second season. So if you're also curious to know more about season 2, continue watching to find out. Just a heads up though, today's video contains spoilers from season 1's finale, so consider yourselves warned. Where will Ginny head off to next season? At the end of season 1, we found out a shocking revelation surrounding Georgia, wherein private investigator Gabriel Cordova uncovers the truth about her. Through his investigations, he found out that Georgia killed her ex-husband Kenny by poisoning him using a wolfsbane plant. Upon knowing this, he confronts Ginny to share his theory, and Ginny realizes that her mother may have committed the atrocious act because her stepfather had been sexually assaulting her mother. Enraged at her mother's behavior and at the same time worried for her little brother Austin's safety and herself, Ginny leaves home and runs away with Austin in tow, packed with a runaway bag. During the final moments of the episode, we see the siblings riding off in a motorcycle, heading off to some new place after burning the wolfsbane in the fireplace. So where will these two go? Does Ginny have a place in mind? And what will Georgia do as soon as knowing her children ran away? A lot of fans have been sharing their opinions in various forums online, but the actress who portrays Ginny, Antonia Gentry, dropped several hints on where her character and Austin will head towards in season 2. In an interview with TV Line, Gentry shared that the season finale had a lot of Easter eggs, which insinuates where these siblings might go. If you're paying attention because there are a lot of Easter eggs and things that you can miss quickly if you don't, Gentry began to explain, I would say watch the show with subtitles on. I don't know if you noticed, but when she's packing her bag, she grabs the book that Zion gives her. And if you're paying attention when Zion arrives and is giving her the book, you know that he included an address. He has that secret coded message in it, and she finds out that it's his address to his Boston apartment. The actress further added, so I'm thinking it's pretty reasonable to assume that Ginny might be headed towards Zion, but I don't want to tell people what to think, even though the clues are all there. CheatSheet.com also wrote down a possible scenario on what may happen should season 2 push through, and it involves the siblings staying with Zion for a bit. An excerpt from the website wrote, they may either be going to stay with Zion for a bit less drama and a bit more honesty, or some theories suggest they may be taking a trip to find Austin's father. Yet it goes without saying that Ginny, Georgia, and Austin will eventually reunite, and Georgia will have to mend her relationship with both children. Will Georgia's past catch up to her? In the first season, it was also revealed that Georgia had a problematic past that she desperately wanted to run away from that may catch up with her sooner rather than later. In a series of flashbacks, we found out that she's been living in Massachusetts before relocating to Wellsbury. As a young woman, Georgia was forced to run away from home due to her abusive stepfather. From there, it wasn't long before she got acquainted and a bit later taken on by a biker gang where she met Zion, where the two youngsters eventually fell for each other. When news broke out that she was expecting a baby, Zion's parents offered to adopt the child, but Georgia, for fear of losing her baby, decided to run away instead. She ends up working in a seedy hotel where she also started an illegal gambling ring. It was only a matter of time before she got arrested, and to keep Ginny in her custody, she decided to marry the hotel owner before killing him off. Following the seedy hotel owner, Georgia met a wealthy yoga studio owner, Kenny, who becomes Ginny and Austin's stepdad. But Kenny dies in a tragic car accident, which leaves Georgia a widow and his estate as well. It's also a bit later when Georgia witnessed Kenny molesting young Ginny, and like a good and extreme mother, she did what she had to do. She put wolfsbane in a smoothie that triggered a cardiac arrest while he was driving his car, resulting in a crash. Georgia would have gotten away with it, but his ex-wife contests his will, and just as the investigator asked for the body to be exhumed, Georgia stole it and had it cremated. Listening to Georgia's backstory, her penchant for running away sure does remind us of her daughter's current actions, no? In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, the producers of the show, Sarah Lampert and Deborah J. Fisher, on what's in store for the characters next season. Aside from keeping a tight lid on what's to happen, EW asked if Ginny will reenact her mom's lifestyle and if we'll get to see more of Georgia's past, to which Fisher only replied with yes to all your questions. The producer also added, we want to keep talking about Ginny and Georgia for a long time. We really can't talk about season 2, Lampert chimed, but what I will say is, where we always wanted season 1 to end was with Ginny protecting her mom, but by doing so, having blood on her hands. What will become of Ginny and Georgia's relationship? With Ginny and Austin gone in the wind, what will happen to this strange mother and daughter's estranged relationship? As we have all seen, the show centers on the two's dynamic yet complicated relationship. Lampert explained that the relationship in the show is the third character which drives the plot forward, which she shared in an interview with Oprah magazine. The relationship between Ginny and Georgia is the third character in the show, Lampert explains. It lives on its own. It's constantly changing and evolving. There's so many scenes where the two of them are communicating with each other over everyone's head. They're intrinsically wounded. it. What will happen to Ginny's clique May? One of the softest aspects of the show is the friendship between Max, Abby, Nora, and of course Ginny. When Max found out that Ginny and Marcus had been hooking up behind her back, she felt betrayed and enraged. And how will Ginny deal with sleeping with someone even though she's already had Hunter? Abby knew Ginny's secret, which also cost the former her ties with Abby, and in the end, it was Abby and Nora versus everyone else. Will these four ever get together again? We hope so. What other information will Inspector Cordova uncover? Since the PI has already pretty much confirmed that Georgia is responsible for her ex-husband's death, he also found out that she was also married to another man. Will he also discover the story behind that? As always, leave it to women's gut feelings to act on a hunch. Will Joe ever get a clean shot at confessing his feelings for Georgia? One of the fans' burning questions involved the charming Joe. Will he finally be able to confess his feelings to Georgia? And viewers have already pieced together that the two knew each other from way back when Georgia ran away as a teenager. At the time of their meeting at a truck shop, Joe already saw Georgia standing by her lonesome, so he offered her half of a sandwich. From there, the two got to talking and made an instant connection, and many years later, she told Ginny that it was the nicest someone had ever been to her. And now, flash forward to Wellsbury. It's pretty obvious that the two remembered each other, and now Joe is an established cafe owner. With Joe's obvious feelings, he's almost on the brink of confessing before he gets interrupted. Always, which is infuriating for the fans and viewers, and for us too. Can't they give this man a chance? And if yes, what about her engagement with Paul? What will Paul think of Georgia's finance issues? And will he get killed off too? Before the two became engaged, Paul started by babysitting Austin as a friend, and as he was looking out for him, he accidentally saw a pile of credit cards and Austin's name in her kitchen. Being a concerned friend, of course, he talked to Georgia about it, but since we all know how Georgia is, she just talked her way out of this conversation. Now that they're engaged, will he fully understand the depth of her financial struggles? After all, finance is a pretty sensitive yet important topic in every relationship, more so that they're soon to get married. And speaking of marriage, we all know how all of Georgia's ex-husbands ended up. Will Paul also follow suit? We can't help but think there might be a scenario in the future that warrants Paul's death. Hopefully, we'll get to explore that idea soon. And with that, we're wrapping up today's topic on several predictions and theories about Ginny and Georgia Season 2. Thanks for watching today's video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you again in the next episode.